Hail you moist bards and bardettes, welcome back to I Cast Vicious Mockery.
A show about sword fighting, kicking, and rubber men.
Also a show about reviewing men's swimwear.
No, not really. But anyway, we're your hosts. I'm Matt.
And I'm Austin.
We thank you. We thank you. You. I'm looking at the camera now. We thank you for joining us today on another episode of I Cast Vicious Mockery.
If you were not here, we would not be recording this. I'm talking to the camera, of course.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
You listening to this right now, I don't know you yet. Maybe, probably, I probably do at this point. It doesn't matter right now. Hey, what are we talking about today?
You know, we talked about this last time.
Yeah, and I had this feeling that we might end up talking about it again.
Mm-hmm. Didn't realize it would be so soon, I'm sure.
That totally would have to be. Yeah, it's going to be forever. Like this show, I hope nobody wanted any D&D today. This is about to become a One Piece read-through podcast. Is that what? This is a new thing we've just invented.
Yeah, are we going to read through... We're going to read through the manga? That seems weird.
No. We're not going to read the manga to them.
Oh, okay.
Although that's a good but terrible idea.
Yeah, I know. I was
just read the text boxes in the manga, and don't describe it.
No, don't describe what's happening.
Do we read the onomatopoeias?
Of course.
Okay.
In One Piece, I can tell you most of them are some version of boom. Like boom, ba-doom, ba-ba-boom. Things like that.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. So we're talking about One Piece again because Matt started rereading One Piece
from the beginning.
It's a manga with 2 or 3 chapters.
1,000
per day of the year.
1,030 something, maybe 1,040 something at this point. I think
so.
Over 1,000 chapters, and actually, One Piece recently aired its 1,000th episode of the anime as well.
We're catching up, so
yeah, we're catching up fast.
We are. Yeah, if they keep releasing one episode each week, we'll catch up to them.
We'll catch up to them event. No, we won't. We can't.
It's hard for me to fathom
catching up to One Piece
that there are 1,000 episodes of that when I know that it's released on no faster than a weekly basis.
Right. And not even like precisely on a weekly basis.
Right. Exactly.
He's missed a few weeks here and there.
Right.
Over the course of these 20.
And I cannot imagine, like, if we keep on pace, if we get every single episode out every single week, that's so long. I can't imagine. Sure, this podcast could be going that long.
It could be.
There's no reason not to, but at the same time, I can't picture that amount of time. I can't tell what that feels like.
2022. I don't know what month One Piece started, but I know it started in 1997. So 2022 will be the 25th year of One Piece airing. That's insane. Because back in the day, they were known as the Big Three: Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece.
Bleach.
Yeah, I know. Can you even believe that Bleach was one of the Big Three?
Yeah,
because that fell from grace. like Bleach. Unfortunately fizzled out and wasn't nearly as good, but Naruto ended pretty properly.
It's back, but
you're right.
But ostensibly it's not about Naruto anymore.
Right. It's not about Naruto anymore.
I think the Boruto manga starts with Naruto dying or something.
Oh, really?
Something like that.
But the show doesn't.
The show has a multiple season long prologue to the manga.
Oh, is that?
So it's got this like whole deal where it's like this build up to it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I think it's just catching up now to the first
to the
chapter.
beginning of the first chapter. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Wow. Yeah. So okay, you could argue Naruto's not really over because
Right. Yeah, it's
yeah.
the original ended, and so people got maybe a sense of closure if they need that.
Right.
And they can still make money off of it. Unlike Bleach, which they have a lot more trouble with.
Yeah. Yeah, people aren't buying Bleach merchandise nearly as much anymore. I had some good Bleach stuff
I
back
really
in the day.
wanted to buy the swords from Bleach.
Yeah, the
when I was a
Zanpakuto.
kid. Yeah, I really wanted to get like all of them, basically.
Yeah. They were all cool.
Yeah.
They were cool. Yeah, they were.
And now I can afford that.
But you don't want it anymore.
I don't want it.
You don't want it anymore.
I don't want it, and it's because they're not like real swords. They're wall hangers.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That's true too. Yeah, and that's a shame.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to find real swords of Bleach anymore because nobody wants them.
Yep. Don't I know it? So now I have to go out and learn how to make swords. Ugh. This is going to be a long quest. Anyway.
Yeah. Long for a side quest.
The third of the big three is One Piece.
One Piece.
And it's a series which it's got a really neat sense of exploration to it, doesn't it?
Man, I love One Piece. I'm saying it as somebody who has dropped it multiple times, but I can't get enough of it, man.
You can always come back to it, and it gives you that sense every time.
Yeah.
Again, right? Like every time you're like, oh my God, I'm in a new world. Like you have no idea what's around the next corner.
Yeah, I am. I tend to be in touch with my emotions, and I have cried already at One Piece. Rereading it, I'm on chapter 455, which is right smack dab in the Thriller Bark arc. So we're right in Thriller Bark. That's
which is weird because when I read that, Thriller Bark was like chapter maybe 30 something. It was like right at the beginning, and now they've moved it.
They moved it to
somehow
400
to 400, whatever.
55. Yeah. To 440 something, I think.
Reading it in real time really changes the sense of how long it's been.
I'm sure.
Because the first probably 600 chapters I read in a week, maybe, or 3 weeks, or who knows, something short like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then since then, the next 400 chapters I've been reading
weekly
over so many years.
Yeah, no, it's different, but for me, because I think that there is a certain, I don't know, reading it weekly, I couldn't get behind reading it weekly, which is why I stopped reading it in general. Mm-hmm. It definitely was in the thousands of chapters when I stopped. So I couldn't have stopped that long ago, like a couple of years ago, maybe then. Because I swear it was. Because what like
I'm gonna do some research.
52 chapters. Yeah, 52 chapters a year at most.
It's actually 48 at most, and it's fewer than that.
Yeah. Yeah. So
it's not at 1,000 chapters, is it?
Yeah, it has to be.
Let's find out. It looks like I'm seeing less than 1,000 as the 1,034.
Yes, okay.
Is the
1,034
maybe most recent one in English. So maybe 1,035.
You can just read them for free.
Sort of. Up until a certain point or something. But okay, so 2020 November, like a year ago, was when chapter 990 was coming out.
Maybe
etc.
Okay, so maybe it was in the 800s then.
Yeah,
because I don't remember.
Do you remember meeting Sanji's siblings?
No, I never got that far.
Or Big Mom. Fighting Big Mom.
Sorry,
that's a spoiler. Those are both spoilers. Oh shoot!
Oh no, it's okay. I figured we would.
All right, so probably right around the Doflamingo part.
It was right. Like Doflamingo was about to wrap up, I think.
All right, so that we're talking around 700, like around 800.
Yeah, around chapter 800.
Which that was like 5 years ago.
That was 5 years ago, man. Oh man, and you know what? I'm getting excited because just like you, when I started reading it, I read it like all the way through in just a little bit of time.
Yeah.
All the way up to what was releasing, which was in the 700s, I think. And I did keep up with it for a little while. A chapter a week for a little while. And my favorite arc is coming up. It's going to be within the next couple. Impel Down was my favorite arc that I had read so far at the time. So I'm excited because there's a lot. There are like 4 or 5 arcs more than that now.
They're not all winners.
Yeah. Well, right. That's how it is with One Piece.
Then again, it felt like that reading through them 1 chapter a week. Some weeks felt like, man, nothing happened.
You're right.
But I might be wrong, and it might, like, the arcs might just zip by.
Who knows? Yeah, exactly. Well, exactly.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear your perspective on that one, because I can't have that perspective yet. I'd have to wait and then read it again later.
Right.
It'd be a while.
Exactly. It would take a long time. But reading through the beginning again, I have to say that chapter 1 through 200 really flew by. Like the first 200 chapters, probably because I watched the anime, the 4Kids dub that was on Toonami here in America. And I think with the anime, I stuck with it and watched it up until not very long, like up through maybe Arlong.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is when they officially recruit Nami into their crew. I think that's as far as I got because I never got to, I don't even think I ever met Robin. Oh, you know what? I got partly into Alabasta. So maybe I had met Robin in the anime. I don't know. I don't think I got quite that far, but I did get up to Alabasta. So I have not seen the anime past Alabasta. So up through Alabasta in the manga, easy, because I've read through it before and I've seen the anime before. So easy peasy, right? But there was a lot of stuff. I was surprised at how much stuff I had forgotten about reading through it again. I'm actually glad that I'm reading through it again from the beginning because just so much that I just don't remember or like don't remember ever reading that kind of jumped out at me. But I think that that's just because Oda is just a good storyteller. He's a good mangaka, you know? There's a lot of world building that I'm noticing now that I didn't notice before. I think you'd be interested to start from the beginning too, because I haven't gotten there yet, but I know about the Wano arc, and they make reference to Wano in Thriller Bark. Yeah.
Wait, who's the guy they fight in Thriller Bark? What are they up against?
They're up against one of the 7 warlords.
Yeah.
And his name is Moira.
Right. Yeah. It's
Something like that. Something.
It might be Moria.
Moria.
He might be named after the thing in Lord of the Rings.
Moria.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be it. Right. Which actually, in the chapter that I've read so far, they still haven't actually shown what he looks like. Just his silhouette. I remember what he looks like, but they haven't actually shown him. So it's interesting because I know about Wano conceptually. I've never read it, but I know about it. And so it's interesting that this far back, because that's kind of recent, isn't it?
Wano?
Yeah.
It's now. It's current.
It's right. That's what's happening right now.
Yeah.
And they talk about it in Thriller Bark. So Thriller Bark is chapter 455, and current arc is in 1035. Like, that's nuts, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's
to set something up for
like 600
12
chapters.
years.
Yeah, exactly. Like 600 chapters worth, almost like 500 something chapters worth.
Yeah.
Insane. So anyway, this podcast might be, it depends on what you describe, what you would describe as a spoiler. Because a lot of the things that I want to talk about aren't spoilers, I don't think. But some people might call them spoilers. Because I'm going to say stuff like, hey, this person is a part of this group. I don't know. Like, maybe that's a spoiler.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to say it's not a spoiler unless it pertains to the main story. And
right.
For some of that stuff, it all pertains to the main story, I guess. But we don't know what impact it has yet. So it's not really a spoiler.
Yeah, exactly.
If that makes sense.
Right.
For some things like that. So I think you can get away with it, sort of. But, all right. So as far as what is a spoiler, like if you give any of the events, I guess that would be a spoiler. Any of the events that happen during the actual story. You can give prequel, like flashback events, I would assume, as long as they're not used to set up like a plot point, which they very rarely are. They're usually just flashbacks for the sake of flashbacks. But,
well, a lot of the flashbacks are used for emotional sort of reasons.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the flashbacks are important only in the fact that they inform you about a specific character during a climactic moment in their story that helps sort of explain why the moment is climactic.
Right. It's basically just like, oh, and this is why this is important.
Right. This is why this is important. Yeah. This is why what is happening currently is important. Right. So I have this One Piece D&D supplement that includes pretty much everything that you could expect. And it's pretty well detailed. It has 94 pages of information. And it's a supplement, so it's not its own game. It's meant to be like a cloak wrapped around 5th edition. Like, it still uses 5th edition rules. And there's actually really nothing about this, as far as I can tell so far, that is different than 5th edition. They don't even really add any extra rules necessarily. They just take the rules as they are and adapt them to if you wanted to play a game related to One Piece in some way.
Are there any different classes, subclasses, that kind of thing?
Yes and no.
It's interesting.
Right. So probably the only thing that is different are the races. And I won't bother really describing what makes them different, but if you're familiar with One Piece, then there are humans, which you meet a lot of humans, but there are subclass of humans as well. Like, I don't even really know most of these myself, so I'm not going to read them because I don't know what they mean exactly, at least most of them. But they're fishmen.
Okay.
Right. And that kind of lends itself pretty well to 5th edition races because they have a description in the world of One Piece, like what makes them different than humans. They're stronger and tougher.
Yeah.
Like baseline than humans. Right. They have merfolk, different than fishmen, which I think they are in One Piece. I don't remember because I haven't gotten there again yet to Fishman Island, but so I don't know about these creatures. Minks.
Oh yeah, you'll see them later.
Okay, so that's just a place I haven't gotten to yet. But it looks like they're just like animal people.
Yeah.
basically. But they have nothing to do with devil fruit stuff.
Right.
I assume. I don't know. Maybe they do. Anyway, Sky Islanders, which is a different race, which I think is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Augmented. There are a lot of characters in One Piece that
who are like partly robotic,
right? Like cyborg people.
I'm half robot.
Yeah. All right, Frankie. Oh, that's it. Okay, so so as far as classes go, all the classes are D&D classes that they've just sort of adjusted to fit One Piece a little bit more. So there's the barbarian sort of subclass, which actually they're putting. So they're associating each of these classes with a character from One Piece.
Okay.
And this one, interestingly enough, is Zoro, which, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. He's kind of like a barbarian.
Yep.
And they have all kinds of subclasses for these. Bards.
Although actually, so in one of the most recent chapters, I think it might have changed who technically fits the barbarian.
Interesting.
But anyway, let's keep going.
Bard is Brooke.
Yep.
Makes sense. So they say brawler here, but this is basically using a lot of the monk skills. And they have Luffy in this one.
Yep, there you go.
I think that makes sense to me. There are a billion monk related subclasses that they put in here, which makes sense too. If you just, like One Piece has all kinds of fighting styles.
Right.
They do.
But most people punch each other.
But most people just punch each other. Yeah, that's the case. Fighter, they put Frankie in there as the fighter.
Huh.
I know.
Oops. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Although he could also be an artificer.
Exactly. Which they have an artificer type. They call... actually they don't. So it's a gadgeteer, but they're saying that's a wizard. And they have Nami there because... I don't know. That's an interesting one because she doesn't really... I mean,
she does get a gadget later.
She gets one, but does she make them? No, she doesn't make any of them really.
No, pretty much. She doesn't have any like special powers or anything like that. She just like yells at people.
Right. Well, she's got Oda tried to give her the thing where she understands climate really well and knows how that works. And that's kind of how her fighting is.
Yeah, she's not a combatant though.
But she's not, which is fine. But anyway, D&D is mostly about fighting, so they had to do something.
She does end up taking some really heavy hits later. So it's weird that she's okay when that definitely would have killed other people.
Right.
But I'm assuming it's just kind of ineffective being around the, like Luffy.
Yeah. Just if you're around Luffy, you can take hits a little bit better. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Probably the whole crew just levels up gradually.
Oh, yeah. It is kind of like shared experience.
Yeah, that's what it is. They have EXP share on.
Yeah, like Luffy took care of the boss, but they all get at least a little bit from it. So Usopp is the marksman, which is ranger type, right? Makes sense. They've got medic, which is druid, chopper. Tony, chopper. They have rogue.
Is that Robin?
It's got to be Nico Robin. Yeah.
Nico Robin. All right.
Yeah, absolutely. And then this one, okay. This one struck me as strange, but I think I get it now. They call it savant, but it's paladin. And they're putting Sanji on there. And at first I was like, what? No, it makes sense because he's full of romance and and passion.
Romance gives him power.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
That's a very paladin thing, I think.
Yeah, he believes in romance more than anything else.
Right. And there's got to be something with him because recently in the Water 7 arc, he does that thing where he spins on one foot really fast and his leg gets really hot.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kicks with his really hot leg.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't hurt him.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's got to be something going on.
Something is going on.
Cool.
I could tell you that.
Right. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of stuff I don't know.
Well, okay. This is a huge spoiler.
Okay.
So close your ears if you don't want to hear it.
I'm fine with it.
I forgot that's how that attack worked.
You forgot
I forgot that's how that attack worked.
Oh, that he spun really fast to heat up his leg?
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Well, does he do it again? Because okay.
But I forgot.
But you forgot that's how it works. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I watched, just to derail for a second, I did watch a YouTube video recently that was about...
Wait, are you at the time skip?
No.
Oh, okay.
The time skip is actually like 3 arcs from now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I sort of looked ahead to like what to expect.
Right.
It's after Impel Down.
Right.
Which is after Fishman Island, I think. Which, oh man, like which
Did you get to the Pirate War? That hasn't already happened yet, right?
No.
So that because I
that's
think
after the time skip.
That's after?
I'm pretty sure. Oh no.
Is that the last thing before it?
Impel Down triggers the Pirate War.
Okay, so it's all one thing.
So yeah. Impel Down, that's how the Pirate War starts with Whitebeard. Yeah, all that stuff happens because that's why he goes to Impel Down, is for a rescue mission. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So, all kinds of subclass. I mean, like a million subclasses. Obviously, there will be a link to this.
Yeah.
So if you want to read through them, feel free because it's pretty substantial. It also gives characters, roles, and dreams. So you can choose between their roles and their dreams, and that's a big theme of One Piece.
It pretty much is the theme of One Piece, isn't it? So the characters who don't have a dream
don't stand a chance.
They don't. They really don't.
Yeah.
I guess that I didn't realize it until now, but if you look at them, number one, they're always like, or not always, they're usually these like cowardly people who just side with whoever.
Right.
So they get beat up.
Right.
By everybody.
Yeah.
Or number two, they're like people who are past their, they've gotten their dreams essentially, and they're done with it. Right. And at that point, they get taken down by somebody who has a dream. Although, oh man, there's definitely a big conflict being set up there.
Oh, for sure.
On that specific topic with a specific pirate. Ooh. We'll talk about it in 20 years when they've gotten to that part.
They've gotten there. How old is Oda now? I have no idea. Like, because he was, okay, first of all, I think he was pretty young when he started One Piece. Because I think, what? He's that young?
He's 46 years old.
He's only 46 years old and his birthday's on January 1st.
He was born in 1975, which is actually, I think that's like the 5th year that One Piece was out. I think it came out in 1970.
1970.
I think that's when he started it. Yeah.
1997. So he was 22 when he started One Piece. Man. Wow. Could you imagine that? 22. So
Masashi Kishimoto's only 47 as well.
Whoa, man.
What is with this? Now I got to know how old everybody is. How old? Hey, Google, how old is everybody?
How old is everybody? Please. Google.
Sorry, I don't understand.
What do you mean you don't understand?
What do you? How could you not get that?
A very clear question.
Oh my God!
So patient. If you have time, could you repeat
What?
it?
Oh.
How old is everybody?
Patient. Okay.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Google doesn't know anything.
Google doesn't know anything. It doesn't know anything about anybody. What good is them collecting all this data on us if they don't even know how old everybody is?
Man. So anyway, where are we going with this? Oh yeah, I totally believe that One Piece could absolutely go on for another 20 years. If Oda is only 40 whatever years old, 46 I think I said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. It could go on for a long time more. Man,
I don't want it to, but it could.
I don't.
I'd rather live to see the end.
Exactly.
And 20 more years, that's asking a lot, buddy.
That's asking a lot.
At that point, I will be
a walking skeleton.
Yeah, 47. That's older than the author of One Piece.
That's older than the author of One Piece.
Jeez, man.
It sure, you know what? It sure is. Okay, now, when it comes to One Piece and a One Piece D&D supplement, what is the one thing that you want to know more about than anything else? What's the thing if you were like, if I'm going to play a One Piece?
Will of D.
Not in the story.
Not in the story?
No. I mean, well, okay. Possibly there are two things, and I'll tell you that they have rules for both.
The fruits. It's the fruits.
Yes, the devil fruits. How does this do devil fruits? Like, if you want a character who has a devil fruit power, how does it handle it? Because doesn't that sound too strong? If you can already be like, if you're a level 20 fighter and you have a devil fruit power, how could you, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't everybody just choose to have a devil fruit power? Let me tell you, this is actually a very smart way to do this, I think.
Okay.
Having a devil fruit power counts as multi-classing into it. You have to multi-class into a devil fruit power.
Okay. Yeah.
So you can't be a level 20 fighter with a devil fruit power.
Right.
Because you have to take a class in the fruit. I know. It makes so much sense to me. I was really excited about this when I read it.
This alone, like you could drop the devil fruits into a regular campaign at that point.
Absolutely.
And be like, here, this is how, like that I mean, that's some grade A beef.
That is some grade A beef. It is. It's really cool. I love the concept of devil fruits.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely 100%. I would put them in a D&D campaign. Like, no questions asked. Mm-hmm. Because I love the barter of it. I love
in this case, the multi-classing thing. So let's say you start out as a bard. Mm-hmm. So you're kind of a support class. You have some spells that do, little utility functions, like you can make a hut, you can charm people, you can do stuff like that. And then you can also kind of fight a little bit. Which devil fruits would you take? Which ones would you not? It really depends. And then the fact that you have to multi-class into it is very interesting. Do they say that it just a devil fruit is one level and then that's it? Or I'm assuming that it lets you level it up if you want.
Yes, because that's how it works in One Piece too. Like when you eat a devil fruit, you understand how the powers work. But the manga, like, you could have the strongest devil fruit in existence and still get beat up in One Piece. Mm-hmm. Like, that's just how it is. It's not just about having the devil fruit. Like, you have to practice with it and understand how it works at a deep enough level. like Doflamingo is a good example. Like that's the first time that they really show somebody having their devil fruit power used at a more like a higher, more substantial level than just the power itself, right?
Yeah. Or so the example that they give is with elemental devil fruit powers. Let's talk about what that all means.
Mm-hmm.
So devil fruit power, just to be clear, in One Piece is you eat a fruit and it does something to you permanently. Like the main character who gets turned into rubber.
He is a rubber man.
He's a rubber man. Yes. Or there are all sorts of other things. Now it has negative effects in a world with such a vast ocean, which is that when ocean water touches you, it disables you completely.
Right. You can't do anything. And the rules for that here are if you are in knee-deep water, all of your attacks, saving throws, ability checks are at disadvantage. If it goes up to your like hips, then wait, I just read about it. It does more. You are paralyzed, I think. And then if you're completely submerged, then you sink 30 feet per round and you can't move. You can't do anything.
Yep.
Sorry. So, okay. That's right. So knee deep is, I remember now, knee deep is a disadvantage. Hip, you can't use your devil fruit powers at all. You can still move, but you're still at disadvantage. And then if you're submerged completely, then you are paralyzed.
Right. So the devil fruit power comes with a sort of trade-off that you have to make.
Right.
But the fruit can do anything. Some turn people into animals. Some give them the ability to, I don't know, do math real fast in their head.
Right, exactly.
And some of them, for instance, there are elemental devil fruits, which give people control over fire. And if you get good enough control over fire, you become fire as well. Or it's not entirely clear how that works. But you can also just kind of turn things into fire. You can you really get a lot of, there's a lot of leeway with the devil fruit powers. They're only really limited by your creativity with how it works.
Right. Yeah.
So as a result, like you can, if you think like, can it do that? The answer is probably yeah. Like, can my, devil fruit that turns me into fire, can it like, can I just decide that something is on fire? Can I like put out fires? Yeah, of course. Can I decide that something is on fire over there? Yes, if you practice that, it will do that. Almost definitely.
Yeah.
So it just comes down to like how you personally focus on using it, I guess. Which explains the level up mechanics. Like at the first level, the fire thing might be that like you can create a small flame out of your index finger, which is pathetic, but might be useful once. And then like at level 3, you can shoot a little fireball, which basically acts as the fireball spell. And then at level, 10, you're basically a fire elemental in addition to your other race, and you can move through fire freely. So if you walk into an existing fire, you can come out at any point from that fire, things like that.
Yeah.
I'm just making that up. I don't know what the actual thing is in this homebrew, but that's the idea of kind of what we're looking at, right?
Exactly. I mean, that's pretty much exactly how it goes. And it only gives 3 examples, one of each type. The 3 types, as you mentioned, their official names in the canon of One Piece are Paramecia, which is like miscellaneous almost. Right, yeah. It's like anything. Like that could be anything. And then there's the Zoan types, which make you part animal. And then the Logia types are considered the strongest types, and those are the elemental ones. Turn you into fire, ice, lightning. all kinds of stuff.
Is the earthquake one? Which was is that Logia or is that Paramecia?
Earthquake?
Paramecia. Yeah.
I
don't know if you've met the earthquake guy.
I don't.
Actually.
I have not met the earthquake guy. No. Does he become earthquakes?
No, I guess not. Well,
Like,
it's not clear.
If you shot him with a bullet, would it hurt him, or would it go through him? I think that's like ultimately.
I guess that is what determines if you're a Logia type. Logia.
Yeah.
I don't know how they say
is it. Logia? Maybe it's Logia.
I have no idea how they say it.
I definitely don't know how they say it. Anyway, yeah. So, because I think that's the determining factor is whether or not you're. Well, that's actually not true. Actually, because I just read the chapter where the one guy who has the darkness fruit does get hit by everything still, but that's the trade-off of what his power can do anyway. So unclear, but it only gives 3 examples in this supplement, I think, because the author is trying to tell you, like, here's like kind of how it works. Like, if you want to have a specific kind of power, go for it, man. Do whatever you want. Like, you can use this as a basis and make it up from there. So this is weirdly like cut off in certain places, but there's like the Paramecia type, the lock fruit is what it says here. So you have the ability to lock and unlock things. And it has like really specific circumstances, like you touch a lock or you touch a lockable thing like a door or a chest, and it becomes locked for 1 minute, or unless you use a bonus action to release it. And the person has to contest your locking DC to see if they can break the lock, because it can't be opened.
Right.
Like, that's kind of the thing about it, is it can't be opened, but they might be able to break the lock, and there's a DC for that. But that seems kind of lame on its own. So it even gives you a couple of spells. Like, for whatever reason, it gives you the ability to cast Cure Wounds, and you can also cast Blindness.
No, I like that.
Yeah.
That does change my perspective on how I thought that these would work, but we'll talk about that in a second.
Right. But it gives you everything else that taking a level would give you. So the hit dice for the devil fruits, I think, are different depending on which one it is. This one in particular says it's D6 for this one. Yeah. And then does
it count as a caster level too for spell slots? Doesn't matter, actually.
Well, leveling that depends on the class, because some classes are based on character level and some are based on level in that class. So I think sorcerers, their spells are based on character level.
I think most are that way, and there are some that are based on level in that class. Because for a lot of the half caster classes, it's easy to pick up more spell slots by just taking a level of wizard.
True.
And then you permanently have more spell slots and higher level ones. The issue is you don't get you don't get higher level spells than you are in that class. So you might get a 6th level spell slot, but only up to 5th level cleric spells or something, because of the way that your levels are.
Right. Yeah, the way that spells work in D&D is actually it's not even confusing. It feels like you always have to look it up.
Yeah, there's no way to, it's a tabular calculation that you just need to follow the thing.
And that's why D&D Beyond is we're so glad they sponsor this episode, because that is just such a great way to learn how they work. You can multi-class and you don't have to think of anything.
Speaking of D&D Beyond, we'll be right back after this message from our sponsor, D&D Beyond. Now this is the part where we act like like we just came back from the ad break, but we're actually going to do the ad read later
Okay,
at the end of the
at
show.
the end of the show. Oh man, that ad break really was something.
Boy. That was a long ad break.
I can't believe
and I missed you so much.
You
all
guys,
of you out there.
Thank you for sticking around.
Yeah, it means a lot. It means the world to me.
It means everything to me.
I'm gonna just leave that exactly how it all was.
Of course you will.
Yeah.
Do you want to know how hockey works?
No,
No,
not really.
Okay.
No. Like, because that just gets more into the weeds of One Piece lore.
That's true.
Like, that's just One Piece. How many magic systems does One Piece need to have? Come on.
Well, they do a pretty good job.
Well, because all right, so they've got hockey.
Yeah.
We maybe we'll talk about it another time.
Okay.
Maybe. But they've got hockey.
Mm-hmm.
Devil fruits.
Right.
Bet you weren't thinking of this one, but Fishman Karate
is
another magic system.
Well, okay, but they use it as a subclass.
Yeah, but it's a magic system.
Sure.
Like I'm not saying that this is using that as separate magic systems. I'm saying how many does One Piece need?
Yeah.
Jeez, man. Then there is Big Mom's power is its own separate magic system.
Okay.
Yep.
Didn't know that.
Yep. Kaido just has a Zoan power, but Big Mom's power is this weird, like, it might technically be a Logia type, but I'm not sure.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
But it's basically a separate magic system.
I haven't gotten that far, so I don't know what you mean yet, but I will.
Yeah.
I'll learn.
Yeah. Sanji's cooking is another magic system.
Okay.
Because he does a cooking battle. Has he done the cooking battle yet?
Nope.
He does a cooking battle later. I think he loses. I don't remember.
Wow. He loses a cooking battle.
Yeah.
I guess his dream isn't to be like the best chef or whatever. It's to
save the most ladies.
It's to
actually his dream is to be Luffy's chef.
Oh, is it really?
No.
It's to go to the All Blue and open a restaurant in the All Blue where they have fish from every ocean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he wants to have the best ingredients.
Right.
It's a very chef-like dream.
Right.
He doesn't care if he makes the best food. He wants to work with the best food.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think that there are other magic systems in there too. I'll have to think about it more, but really you only need one. Maybe two if it creates something interesting. But you only really need one.
Yeah, well, maybe that does get convoluted. But I think it's a way for Oda to be able to show other kinds of character development, because it's been
it explains why, in my opinion, I think what it does is it explains why Luffy couldn't just go up and punch Kaido in the face in like chapter 30 or whatever. Like it just explains like why there was so much that they still had to learn before they could actually become anything respectable.
Yeah, I guess why the Grand Line was so dangerous. Like why it explains why not just any ordinary person can be on the Grand Line. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense to me.
Yeah. But anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So on the devil fruit topic.
Yes.
Actually.
Okay.
That's what I wanted to talk about was you're a bard with all these different abilities. You can keep being this diverse character with all these different things you can do, or you can get one devil fruit power. Right? Like you could choose to take a certain number of levels of specialization, but you only get the one power out of it. You don't get like a bunch of different things. So that's already a sort of trade-off, and that's already really, that's
true.
Really good.
That's true.
As far as a trade-off goes. Your power might turn you into a cannon, right? Like it might make you real strong. There is somebody's power who does turn them into a cannon, so you probably can't steal that one. Someone's already eaten it. Oh, there's only one of each devil fruit. Did we talk about that?
No, we didn't.
There's only one, and they regrow when one of them, like when its user dies.
Right. So
I don't know where they grow from.
Yeah.
They never really say.
Well,
but people end up with them.
Oda did explain. It's a weird phenomenon where a regular fruit just turns into a devil fruit.
Oh.
Like it's already grown.
Yeah.
Like a regular already grown fruit will just turn into a devil fruit when the possessor of the previous
So it
power
could show
dies.
up anywhere.
It could show up anywhere, yeah.
Also, I like the idea of doing it as a multi-class because then you can be like, there is a character who has multiple devil fruit powers.
Right. They say that's impossible, but there is a character who does it.
By some mysterious means.
Mm-hmm.
And they like literally everyone's like, it's so mysterious. And he's like, check out my mysterious thing that I did. Ooh. And he like throws a cloak over something. And then he's like, I have a devil fruit power.
Haha. Yeah.
And everyone's like, it's mysterious. And he's like, I'm mysterious.
I'm mysterious. That's my devil fruit power. Mystery.
That could be a good one.
That could be a good one.
The what's the Japanese onomatopoeia for a question mark showing up above your head?
Yep, that is how they're all named. Also, it's interesting so I'm pretty sure the official translation in English is Viz Media.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting how sometimes they just adopt the Japanese one, and sometimes they translate it and make it an English one.
Yeah, it's like a fan translation, but like have you ever had that when you're reading a manga and you like partway through it switches scanlation teams, and you're like, okay. Who is this person?
Yeah.
And you realize that like the other people translated their name weird.
Yeah. Or maybe the new people translated their name weird.
No, the old people, or whichever way, like somebody was like, oh, their name is Kuremi, but actually their name is Cream. Or stuff like that.
Yeah,
like,
okay, yeah.
So somebody was just didn't get the reference. That happens, I think, a lot with non-English ones, especially.
Mm-hmm.
Like you get authors who, will just pick like a series of French names for their characters, and eventually somebody's like, oh, hey, these names are all French.
Oh,
okay,
French. Yeah.
So I guess Soccery Bro is not actually Soccery Bro.
Sacre bleu.
That's my bad, guys. I thought this was about, sports.
Soccery Bro.
It really threw me off because he holds a soccer ball.
But his name is actually Sacre bleu.
And then you find out later that of course it's both.
It's both. He's Soccer Bro.
So his name is Soccer Bro, but it's meant to look like Sacre Bleu.
Sacre Bleu.
Yeah. Sacre Bleu.
Those Japanese, they sure like their puns.
Yeah. I can't. It's so hard to translate from Japanese.
Well,
because there are just so many things that you could be missing.
Oh, absolutely. Like one of them is Nico Robin. Whenever she uses her devil fruit power, she says something like dos fleurs.
Mm-hmm.
Dos is Spanish and fleur is French, right? So it means two flowers, but in two different languages.
Yeah, I have a feeling there's some of that with Sanji too.
Right, yeah.
Where he he'll switch languages. I don't know if he just uses, I keep forgetting. Like French should be the main one because he's a French chef. Like that's his deal.
Yeah.
But I think he switches to Italian, which kind of makes sense.
Okay.
It's one of the great cuisines of the world.
Right.
But then there's other stuff in there too, and it just doesn't make any sense.
Right. Well, and reading manga in English is tough too, because like every attack that Zoro does is a pun,
Mm-hmm.
but it's all a pun in Japanese.
Yeah.
Well, the weird thing is, some of them are a pun in Japanese, but the pun
Is how they're written.
Sometimes it's how they're written, and sometimes it's that in Japanese it sounds like the English word for this thing.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Like he like all of his attacks are food,
Mm-hmm.
basically, but they translate to something kind of normal sounding. Like
Right.
it sounds like a normal attack name,
Mm-hmm.
but in Japanese, like one of his attacks is onigiri,
Right.
which like literally means
it's called demon cut or
demon-
demon slash.
yeah, like demon
or
slash
something,
or
because
something like
oni
that.
is demon and kiri is cut. But if you
Right.
put it as a second part of a compound, it becomes giri, and then
Right, exactly. So you don't get all the puns. I just want all the puns, man.
I actually wanted to name my parents' cat Onigiri because of the same thing in reverse. Because then we would have called him Oni for short, which to me is funny because it means
He's
demon.
Demon, yeah.
And I probably would have gotten away with it if I didn't tell him that.
That was your mistake.
Yeah.
You said it out loud.
Yeah.
Man. And I almost got away with it too. It wasn't for you meddling translators. Oh, man. But yeah, like I remember reading, when I read One Piece originally,
Mhm.
it was definitely a fan translation. Because it wasn't translated to English and released in the US simultaneously. Well, I think it is now.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Like it's released in English.
Or if it's not simultaneous, it's like a week later.
It's so close that it is negligible.
Right.
So there's a lot of things that like they refer to a certain character as Sniper King. And I'm like, Sniper King. That doesn't sound familiar. I don't remember that name. And then it was because before, when I was reading it, the fan translation didn't really translate it. And the character's name was Sengoku the whole time. And that's how they referred to that person.
Yeah, I didn't know who Sniper King was.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd never heard that until now.
Exactly. You never heard that until now.
Yeah.
Right. But when I said Sengoku, you knew exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah, now I know who you're talking about.
Right, exactly. It's interesting. It's also interesting. I don't know this for a fact, but I can speculate that they call Zoro Zolo in the official translated version. I assume that's because of copyright reasons.
Mm-hmm.
They can't call him Zoro because Zoro is a copyrighted character. It's the same reason why in like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, they had to rename all of the stand powers.
Yeah.
Because they were all bands or songs in America. And they couldn't use their likenesses or whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, exactly. All right.
Oh, cool.
I think we did it.
We did it. We talked about One Piece for a long time.
And if you listen to this, give yourself a pat on the back.
Nice job.
So if you made it through that, if you slogged through that whole thing, that was pretty good. We did okay.
Yeah, we talked about One Piece.
We talked about One Piece a little bit of that episode.
Some of it was One Piece.
Yeah, some of it was One Piece. We got 1,000 more episodes to go because we're starting next episode. We're going to recap chapter 1 of One Piece. And we're going to recap one chapter each episode. That'll be what our show is about from now on. So hit that subscribe button. Like this video so your friends all see it. And leave a comment speculating which chapter we're going to do next.
Right. And watch another episode. Listen to another episode. Why not?
Yeah, go listen to all the other episodes and say goodbye to that format, because now we are just going to discuss one chapter of One Piece per episode.
One chapter per episode.
Yeah. We're going to start by reading the chapter to you as discussed previously.
It would take nearly 2 years if we discussed a volume of One Piece per episode.
Yeah, but I thought we agreed that we were going to catch up.
Right.
By doing a weekly reading of one. Eventually we'll catch up. As long as we don't miss any weeks.
Eventually we'll catch up. Well, that's true. If we don't miss a week, we would catch up eventually. We're so good at like really getting the bead on what people are going to be interested in watching.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So why not dedicate the next 25 years to
25 years plus
to plus. Yeah, exactly. To doing one chapter of One Piece a week. So it's not the worst idea.
Okay. Do you have a worse idea in mind then?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your worst idea?
What if we did a chapter of Bleach every
one chapter of Bleach every week?
Okay, bye.
See you guys.